Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Android Guys. I'm here with Luke.
Hey, everybody.
Luke, your turn to review something.
Yeah,
You have a game?
I do.
Okay, what's the game?
It's called Broyalty. It's like bro and royalty together, I think.
Okay.
So, or maybe brawl and royalty. I don't know. Broyalty.
Be Royalty.
Be royalty.
I see it's Royalty RPG Castle and Knights.
Yes.
That's a fool. That's kind of wordy.
Yeah.
What is this game?
So this is your kind of it's a builder game, I think is kind of its classification. The idea is you have this castle and you're adding people to it and adding rooms to it, and these rooms do different things. So you start out with your throne room and a little kitchen and a gold storage. And then you also have outside, you have like your garrison. And you start with a handful of people, and you have some of them are, you have a chef, you have a kind of a bookkeeper, and then you have some soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is you're training soldiers up, and then you go out and do quests throughout the map. And really what those quests are just a real-time kind of battle arena. It's interesting. It's like a grid-based map system.
Mm-hmm.
So the battle will start, and you'll see where the enemies are, and then you have your people. You start out with 4 people, and then as you upgrade your garrison, you can get more people that you start with. And the 3 types you start with are a ranger, a wizard, and a soldier or a knight kind of person. And so you place them in kind of your starting grid location, and they do different things based on what they are. So the knight will charge at the enemies in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
The archer will shoot at enemies that might be behind cover, and then the wizard character will shoot ranged at enemies. Might do damage like in a radius when it hits. It might do other things depending on what the level of the wizard is and things like that. And so there's a little bit of a spatial puzzle associated with that. So you're trying to set your guys up. It gives you suggestions in the beginning on where to place your archer at the beginning, where to place your knight, so that you get the best kind of start. And then you defeat those monsters, and you get equipment and gold that you can use to upgrade your castle, and you get equipment that you can use to deck out each of your characters. Now the game, it's very kind of tongue-in-cheek. There's a little very loose story, and these characters that are talking between levels and doing things are very silly. They have like really silly names, and just they look funny. So the game overall is very lighthearted.
Mm-hmm.
There's the idea that you can put a man and a woman in a room together, and then after a while you'll have another character that you can.
How does that work?
Yeah, right. They have a baby, and then that baby grows up, and you can assign them another task. And
Okay.
They can be a soldier. They can help in the kitchen. They can do. They can work in there's like a forge where you can create new items. So there's all kinds of different things as you go throughout the game that you can do better at going out into the map and beating the monsters and getting more gold. And it's this very linear map where you go from point to point to point. But then there's also in the game, there is some PvP where you can play other players in real time.
Oh.
Where you can, set up your characters in your garrison versus their characters, and you can fight them, or you can also fight monsters that are in the middle of you two, and whoever, beats those monsters or beats the other team first, reducing your characters to 0 hit points, wins.
Okay.
So there's a decent amount going on in the game. All of that being said, it's really maybe a different wrapper on a very familiar game type.
Yeah.
You know, you've probably seen this before. The grid type system is cool. It's like, you know, kind of that tactical turn-based strategy kind of feel, but that can be all automated. You can just turn on auto battle, and so you just set your guys at the beginning, and then they'll just go and fight wherever, you know, the AI deems most important. And most of the time, that works starting out. And then as you get going farther in the game, you might have to think out a little bit more on what you do. But this game overall, it's pretty cool. I gave it a decent score.
So you mentioned Rapper.
Yeah.
This looks gorgeous.
Yeah. It's very so the studio is StarKit Studio.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know too much about them. I don't know many of their other games, but man, this is one of those mobile games that it, like you said, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, the thumbnails alone, I had seen this, I think suggested to me somewhere along the way. And man, it's the colors are vibrant.
Yeah.
There's a lot of colors.
The character style, just the whole style of the whole thing is very polished. It's very nice. There's a lot of cool textures going on. There's, you know, there's shadows, and it seems like a very high level of design and programming for a mobile game. Now, the game is free to play, but there's definitely paid opportunities.
Okay.
So there's season passes, there's PvP events that you can buy items for. You can always buy gold. You can always buy gems, and gems are used to speed up of you know, upgrading or building new things. So you can always buy those resources, and then you can also buy different outfits and different equipment. So that's the other part is, you know, as you go through and beat these events or beat these different points on the map, you'll gain equipment, and then you can assign each person in your castle different equipment based on what they do. So you know, you can get a baker's hat, and there might be 20 baker's hats throughout the whole game, but you can upgrade and get better. The one my guy has on looks like a hamburger on top of his head. And then you can, you know, there's like the Rangers can then have bow and arrow, but then they can have a gun later on, or, you know, there's a Ranger that also fights with like 2 daggers, and they are kind of more like a rogue style Ranger where they dip into a shadow and show up on another point in the map. So there's a lot of different kind of gameplay, but it's all very, very beautiful. Like it's just a really, really highly detailed, high designed game. And they must be doing well in the Play Store, because it's you know,
this actually looks like their only title.
Yeah, it's over 500,000 downloads.
Yeah.
An average of 4.2 stars on the Play Store. You know, there's a lot of people playing this game. And it's one of those that I think as you get into it and get farther and farther in the game, you're just staying current on the events, you know, and just getting better and better equipment, and then probably turns into more of a PvP game than anything else.
Okay.
But it's very tongue in cheek, very fun. I gave it a 3.4 overall.
Okay.
So better than average game. But there are some low points and some very high points. Obviously, the highest is the graphics. I gave that a 4.5 because you'll look at it. If you look it up in the Play Store, the game is gorgeous.
Yep.
It feels really nice. Even down to the animations of when you can pick somebody up and move them into a different room, and that just feels natural. And then there's an animation of them like falling into that room, and it makes a noise.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just
a lot of intention.
It's a lot of really intentional design. So I gave the graphics a 4.5, the audio a 3.5, and the replay a 3.5. Where it lacks for me is features. I gave it a 3 because there's a lot going on, but really there's a lot of different ways to do the same thing. Or, there's a lot of different rooms you can make and a lot of different things you can do, but they're really all the same thing. You make a room and then you upgrade the room, and you spend resources to upgrade the room, and then you upgrade your characters and you get more items to make the characters better. I mean, there's really not much more features. It does it really well, seemingly, but there's not a whole lot to it.
Okay.
And then for ads and notifications and in-app purchases, I gave it a 2.5.
Okay.
Because we've been recording for a little bit, a couple other reviews today. In the maybe hour that we've been recording, I've had 4 notifications from this game already saying, "Hey, this room is done. Hey, your people are trained. Hey, your energy's ready to go fight." It's like, pump the brakes on that a little bit.
Yeah, I'll come back.
Yeah. When you open the game, it opens up into a pop-up that has the most current thing they want you to purchase, whether it's an event ticket or a new cosmetic or something like that. That pops up before you actually get into the game. So it's free to play, but it's definitely very much a, hey,
yeah, you can sniff out what's going on.
Here's the things that, to play better, to be better, you want all this. And they give you, it's got a good tutorial system starting out, and they give you some starting resources, as most games do, to get you, a couple free upgrades and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's fun, but if you like that style of game, it's going to have a good replay, because there's a lot of the game, and there's a lot of people playing. So I don't imagine this game's going away anytime soon.
Sure.
They're just going to keep coming out with more levels, more events, more characters, more styles, more cosmetics. More, if you really like this kind of game, this is going to be a game that looks great and is going to be around for a while.
And that's I go back to this being their first game in the Play Store, and this being, early on in its life cycle. This is where it's at today. I mean, you would assume it only gets better.
Yeah.
Maybe the feedback and some of that from the Play Store comments, reviews kind of fix that. Maybe being able to adjust those notifications so much.
Sure.
Those types of things can be a nuisance.
Yeah.
And I don't want to turn off all notifications.
Right.
Because then I sometimes forget about the game that I'm playing. But that many inside of an hour is kind of egregious.
Yeah.
So, but I'm definitely interested. I was interested in, the judging the book by its cover.
Yeah.
Those pictures definitely sold me. And I was curious, because if you weren't going to review this, it was one that I would consider. But I'm still interested to see, does it hold on long term for you?
Yeah, I don't know if it will, because this is truthfully not my style of game.
Yeah.
But I do like the that kind of grid style combat. That is definitely my style of game.
Yeah.
But it's almost, this is a builder / farm simulator kind of almost to me, and that's I don't love that.
Sure.
But it looks great.
Awesome. And the game again is Broyalty. RPG Castle and Knights.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Luke.
No problem.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, anything, shoot us an email at podcast@AndroidGuys.com. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. Luke, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Luke Gaul, Gaul.
And I'm on Instagram at Scott Webster and Twitter as SWebster77. Until next time, thanks for listening.
See ya.